Hello, my name is Rob. I'm a photographer and videographer based out of North Wales in the UK, and welcome to part 2 of the 2024 USA film photography trip. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, where I talk about where I was going, what I was doing, what cameras that I was going to be using throughout the whole trip, then pause this video, go check out part 1, and then you'll be up to speed, ready for part 2. Alright, so every cool journey, in my opinion, starts in one of two places. Number one is a hobbit hole, a la Bilbo Baggins, or to a greater extent, in my opinion, Frodo Baggins. Or option number 2 is an airport. Now, as I don't live in a hobbit hole yet, we'll be starting this journey in Manchester Airport. So upon getting 15 rolls of film through airport security, big shout out Manchester Airport for not only knowing what film was, but also being super good about taking care of it, legends. It was then time for me to partake in one of the most sacred of British traditions. No, I'm not referring to the stealing of things for the British Museum. No, I'm referring to the tradition of the airport beverage. Now, as a teetotal man myself, my tipple of choice is the hardest of stuff, tea. And this was also the perfect opportunity to load up the first camera with film. So I took a roll of colorplus 200 and I slung it in the Pentax 17 and I started blasting. So we had pretty much half of the plane to ourselves, which was really cool. We flew at like 1 PM, so it obviously was not a very popular flight. This photo on the right here, you can see my lovely little window seat that would be home for 8 hours. And then on the left, just a photo of the in-flight entertainment monitor on the back of the seat. And I just want to take a moment to sort of applaud whoever came up with the idea of putting a camera on the exterior of the plane that you can watch in like real time throughout the flight. Like that just speaks to me on a spiritual level. Also, just for anyone who doesn't know, the Pentax 17, the camera that I'm shooting on here, is a half frame 35mm camera. Now what that means is that it only uses half of the 35mm frame for each individual photo. So when you scan it horizontally, like a normal frame of 35mm, you get 2 vertical images. Very cool. You may have heard of them before being referred to as diptychs. Try saying that 10 times. So anyway, I watched the opening 10 minutes of like 5 different movies before I decided that I didn't want to watch a movie at all. Then changed my mind and watched a movie called Abigail about vampires. It was f***ing awful. I then drank a load more tea, because if you're like me, your flight is basically just a game of how much tea can you drink before you drink shit tea for however long that you're away. I ate whatever this thing was. It was quite nice actually. Read like 10 pages of this book. I really like these 2 photos next to each other. It's one of the things I really love about the Pentax 17 is there's an extra little layer of magic that if you're scanning your frames like horizontally, like you normally would scan your 35mm film, then there's always this extra little layer of excitement of whether you put 2 photos next to each other that look really cool. And one of the things I started doing with the Pentax 17 is keeping that in mind when I'm shooting. So I like to take photos that go in a bit of a sequential order. So it's cool to take like a wide photo of a subject and like a tight photo as well. That's really cool. But yeah, it happened a load of times on this trip where like I accidentally just took 2 photos next to each other. They just look really cool. And I love that about the Pentax 17. And 8 hours later, we were coming down on the other side in Orlando. This feels like a kind of nice natural point to end this video. I don't want these to be like super long. I want them to be digestible. In my opinion, you shouldn't need a f***ing Rennie to watch a YouTube video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like it, consider subscribing to the channel, all that sort of stuff. So you can see the next installment in this little series of videos that I'm going to make about the trip to America. I've got a Pentax 17 review coming up. I'm going to make a video all about colorplus 200 film, because that's basically all that I'm shooting at the moment. I love that film. And I also had this arrive in the post. There is a camera in this box, and it is a type of camera that I have never used before, so I'm very excited to make a video about this. This one is going to be a really fun one. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that stuff, make sure you stick around. And yeah, cheers for coming and hang out and checking out the video. And hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Peace!